Okay, so here I am. That's a bad yeah, that's bad video. So, hello everybody. Welcome to Homeschool House Calls, your go-to spot for homeschool help that's flexible, faith-friendly, and full of heart. ChatGPT put that in there. I have my notes. Notes are important. But anyway, I'm Devin, and today we're going to talk about. I'm reading. Y'all, I should really totally get a teleprompter, right? So that I'm not looking at the phone, right? That's what I should do. So, anyway, we're going to talk today about diving into something I totally think it will shift the way you are teaching and thinking about teaching at home, Universal Design for Learning, or UDL. Don't worry, I'll break it down in a way that makes sense and feels doable. So grab your coffee and hold on to it. Forget about the last load of laundry. You don't have to listen and do it right now. You can wait, and let's chat a little bit about universal design. So, anyway, what in the world is universal design? It is about creating learning environments that work for all kids, not just the ones who fit the typical mold. It's used in the classrooms, yes, but it works for homeschool beautifully too. I have seen it play out in the university setting, I've seen it play out in homeschool setting, and I think it will rock your world. Um, think about it like this. So instead of adjusting your homeschool only for your child who struggles, UDL kind of helps you build flexibility from the start so that all your children, and it's proactive and inclusive, and it respects the fact that every child learns differently because that's the way God made them. So here's some principles. See, I'm going too fast. I need to slow it down. I get excited. Universal design has its roots in architecture. That started, I pulled the book. There's a book I've been reading called Accessible America. It's about how they started designing like curbs that have, the little ramp so that you can cross the road. I mean, that wasn't a thing, until, I think the 1950s, maybe. I may be wrong if I don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But I'm like, this was a revolution in the architecture world that has moved over into education and other parts of thought. So it focuses on three core principles: multiple ways to engage your child, multiple ways to present the information, and multiple ways for them to show what they're learning and what they've learned. So it's like a buffet of learning, and you get to create that menu. It's like really, really, I think amazing. I mean, I really do think it's amazing. So why does it matter for homeschoolers? Because that's who I am. I'm a homeschool mom. We've homeschooled over 20 years. Um, 5 kids, 2 are still homeschooling. My 3 are in college. Olivia's a senior and will early enroll, and then Lacey is in 5th grade. So, so why does it work? Why does it matter to us? It's because we're the teacher, the coach, the planner, and let's be honest, sometimes the cafeteria lady too. Lots of food is eaten in our house. It helps you create a plan that works for real life so that you're not stressed, especially when you have kids with different needs, different learning styles, different ages. So you're offering the same information in multiple ways. So let's say your older is a visual learner and loves books, but your youngest is constantly moving and can't sit still with a worksheet. Instead of choosing one method and hoping it sticks, UDL encourages you to offer all the choices, like a video lesson and a hands-on project and a narrated journal and building a Roman city with Lego blocks. And, you're doing all the things and offering the same information in multiple ways. This doesn't mean you have to reinvent the wheel. It just means building in options. I see it on the university level where teachers will add multiple ways to get the information. There could be a lecture, there could be a video, there could be, the video's captioned, there's guided notes, there might be some projects. I'm like, I enrolled for the fall and everything's going to be projects. I'm a little scared of that. But the best part is UDL doesn't, it's not just for kids with learning differences. It helps all the learners thrive. And that's what they've seen with this is when they use this, that they put it in place to help children with learning disabilities, but they found that everybody in the classroom was thriving. So it does work because you're showing multiple ways. So anyway, what does UDL look like in real life? So let's take a couple of examples. Imagine you're teaching a history lesson on ancient Egypt. In a traditional setup, you might have a textbook and ask for a written report. And yes, I have been that mom. In fact, I had one child that thrived on that. My notes. So, so I had one that thrived on that. But that's one way. But with UDL, you're going to expand it. So you're thinking about engagement, the why. Offer a choice. Let's build a Lego pyramid. Watch a short video documentary. Act out a scene from Egyptian life. Add in if you like somebody who likes a book of fiction that's based in that time frame. Those are some ways of pulling in engagement. Then you do representation. Instead of just reading and bringing in maps and audiobooks, or even a virtual museum, you're adding in all the things. It's not just one. You're bringing in the maps and the audiobooks and the visual museum tour and the documentary. So you're adding there. You have the engagement, you have the representation, then you have the action and expression, the how. You're letting your child give back to you what they learn, because a lot of times if you involve them in, maybe they're teaching the younger sister, or they're teaching dad when he gets home from work, or in our case, when I get home from work, then have the child do a comic strip or a video or record a podcast episode. You don't ever have to post the podcast episode. It's just, they can, if they're into techie stuff, or make a video to send to grandma that they're explaining what's going on. And maybe they can give, and they plan it, and they're creative, and they're adding all their things. It's not about doing more. It's about doing things more flexibly. It's about adding more variety and not being stuck in that one curriculum. And I was the mama who was stuck in the curriculum many, many days. And it did not, and I tell this example all the time. My Olivia, I bought her textbook style thing that would have worked totally fine for older siblings, but she was not thriving. She did not understand. And so when I started pulling in videos along with the book she never liked, but she was getting the information and learning the information, but I found the way that made it work for her. So when you start adding these in here, and it's just part of your thought process, you're not like retracking and going, you're not backtracking and trying to fix a problem. You've worked ahead so that you're not backtracking. You're thinking ahead and say, hey, I'm going to offer it multiple ways. That way I'm not fixing a problem. I'm not having to fix the problem. It's flowing smoothly. At least that's what I think. So as a Christian homeschool, that's me. There's no way. I try. I teach very inclusively. I try to keep my answers to people you get all the answers, not just one. But I do believe that every child is fearfully and wonderfully made, and that they were made beautifully, no matter what their learning difficulty is, or whether there's no difficulty. All our children are made beautifully and wonderfully and fearfully and joyously. They are important. And UDL honors that truth and reminds us that learning isn't a one-size-fits-all, because he doesn't make us one-size-fits-all. We're not cookie cutter people. We are beautifully arrayed. We are made different. We are made to thrive. And I think UDL does help us thrive. When we use it in our homeschooling, we're not just making things easier. We're making them more equatable, more loving, more, just more godlike for the people who need it. We're being good humans with our kids. And I tell my kids all the time that we have to be good humans. So if you have ever felt overwhelmed because your child was behind, or if you're doing something right, or wondering if you're doing something right, take a deep breath. UDL gives you permission to tailor your teaching to your child's strengths. And that's not just okay, that's good teaching. Um, so anyway, how do you I hope it didn't go too fast. I hope you that helped you understand what I mean by UDL a little bit and gave you some interesting things to think about. And drop me a note in the box down in the box. Give me your questions, and we can come back and answer some more questions on UDL and how to apply it to your learning. I mean, you can be specific. I can chat GPT just about anything. If I can't figure it out, I'm like, I can figure it out. And if I don't, at this point, over 20 years, there's not many questions I haven't heard before, or that I can't, or I don't know the answer to, or I can't find the answer to. The only one I absolutely hate, I do it well, but I don't like talking law. Not a lawyer. Don't want to be a lawyer. Never wanted to be a lawyer. Um, I can answer those questions, but I'll do that one in person. You can just, email me on Facebook. You can find me. Um, I may look at maybe making y'all a cheat sheet to this. I'll see if I can figure out a way to load that up. Go a couple of videos back. I'll try to put some links to these books in case you want to pick them up. The links will have an affiliate link. It helps. It doesn't cost you any more money. It just, not Facebook, Amazon. It's just Amazon's way of thanking me for advertising the book. But anyway, I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Y'all are awesome. I am proud of you. Let me know what else you need. Otherwise, I may come back to UDL. I love it. I think it's amazing. I may come back and start re-upping some of my older videos, like Mia Prep is a little outdated. I'm going to start doing some of those too. So if there's something in particular you want me to update, let me know. If you have any homeschool boot camp type questions, let me know. It's important. I like my parents to have access to information. But other than that, y'all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye, guys.